Hello everyone, this is Suva yet again, and I am casting Game 3 between, once again, in the Blue Trunks Yakarue, and I'm so glad they didn't change colors because that would have confused me at some point. And in the Red Trunks we do have Callmebonjwa. Call me. If you have not seen the games, well, go watch them. We are split 1-1, and as they are saying, it has been a very good series. These two are very evenly matched, I would say. Both very high level play, I would say diamond level for sure. Very good, very fun to watch. In both games, Call Me has taken a very interesting route. He goes very late with the gas, very late with the warp gate research, and then he ends up going forward. He gets a couple gateways, cybernetics, then a forge, and then he expands and uses a couple cannons as extra defense. If he pulls it off like he did in the first game, it basically allows him to pin in his opponent. Yakarue, on the other hand, he likes to go a 4-gate. It's kind of a delayed 4-gate push, because what he does is he kind of does a blink timing. So he will get those can't think of the word, Twilight Council up and going, and then he does that blink research, and then he attacks. It worked for him in the second game. Unfortunately, in the first game, I don't think he waited for that blink, and it actually hurt him very much. He tried some very, very early aggression, and he was very close to pulling it off, but I think he had a little too strong of like, his proxy pylons were a little too close, I would say. And unfortunately, they both got discovered, and that was a couple hundred minerals wasted. I think that hurt him a lot. We do have the scouting going on, and somehow, wow, Call Me is able to figure out exactly where to go first. I guess you would assume that, I think in theory you're not, yeah, with these maps you cannot be across position like this. So, as he was going here and he swung by to check out, what's going on, since he didn't see a probe coming, figure you go to the far base. Makes sense to me. Both of them see each other. Yakarue, I believe, was kind of mean and stole some minerals. That's not a big deal. Hey, check out White Raw's game, because what he does is he goes in here, sees what he sees, and then he always swings by and grabs a gold. Just one of those little tiny things he does. And Call Me is stealing that gas. That's going to delay the sentries and the stalkers a little bit, because you don't have that extra gas going. And it could hurt blink research, because you need that extra gas to get the Twilight Council and then the research itself. Plus it's irritating just because you have a part of them in your base. Very annoying. And that probe getting out with a nice couple little shots from Call Me Zealot. Meet Bob. First Zealot is always known as Bob, in case you didn't realize. And Bob over here is going to town on this assimilator, but it's going to take him a little while. And here is our proxy pylon for that 4-gate that Yakarue loves to go so much. I shouldn't say 4-gate yet, because he could choose something else. We only see a 2nd gate going up. He does have 200 minerals. I would not be surprised to see him drop another one soon. He's just having this probe wait here. That's very interesting. 300 minerals now. I wonder what he's concentrating on so much. And he's dropping another... Oh, he brought that. I wonder if he even realizes this probe is here. It's in an awkward position. He may not notice it. But we do have 4 gateways going down at this point, and those tend to finish just when this warp gate finishes. Maybe pop out one more. Yep, right there. And again, this proxy pylon is discovered by Call Me. He is doing an amazing job at scouting out where Yakarue likes to do those the proxy pylons. He has caught them almost every time. We do have 4 gates up by Call Me. This is quite different. He has warp gate on the way. It'll be a little bit behind, because he did take the time to get all of these out, and he is pumping from everything right now. But not too far behind. I don't think that puts him at any disadvantage. As for the actual units, he is down a couple drones, which is very interesting. Normally he was up maybe 1 or 2 along the way. There is somewhere... Twilight Council is going up. He is probably going to do that blink stalker, because all I see on the field at the moment are stalkers. Call Me does have a robotics on the way. Huge fan of robotics, especially if you know he goes blink stalker. Pump out a couple of immortals, and it really negates anything that'll happen. Bob over here is chasing away that probe. He's never going to catch him. He looks like he almost did, though. what do we have going on? We have a little bit of a push going on by Yakarue at this point. Or, sorry, Call Me. But the thing is he bringing up any probe? He's not bringing a probe so that he can do any proxy pylons. He's probably doing this while he's going to take the time to expand behind. That would be my guess. Yeah, no probe, so he's not looking for sustained pressure at this point. He does have Warp Gate research finished. We do have an Immortal on the way. Again, that's very good against the Stalkers that Yakarue does like to go. We do have that Blink research on the way, which means that those Stalkers can chase down anything at this point. And he is setting up to do the fight. I wonder if he realizes he could get a free probe if we went a little bit north of him. A couple more Stalkers deciding whether or not to come in or not, and it looks like he doesn't want any part of this engagement. He's going to pull away. I kind of like that idea because he is getting those Immortals out. Get a second Immortal out. You can do a lot of damage to those Stalkers and stop them from doing anything to you. And then at the same time, go ahead and expand, secure that expansion, and get that economic lead if you can. I'm a big fan of that. The downside is, Yakarue loves doing the early pressure, but he's only using the 4-gate at the moment just to warp in units locally and get things going. Now that Blink has finished, he is going to push out. He'll probably snag, there's the probe to go do the proxy. Though the probe looks a little confused where it wants to go. Yes, his Stalker's roaming around checking for any proxy, but he doesn't realize that there's going to be one coming fairly soon. Ooh, Warp Prism. If he can hang around in this game with that Warp Prism, you can do some nasty things. Most opponents do not expect Protoss to be doing drops. You bring a Warp Prism to the back of the base, drop it in, you take out the entire mineral line before the other guy can even see. And all you need is maybe 4 Zealots, warping another 4 Stalkers, and it's almost GG at that point. And this is a lot of Stalkers at this point. At this point in the game, we do have 15 Stalkers and 2 Sentries with 7 Zealots versus 13 Stalkers. The big thing, I think, is going to be those Immortals. He better watch out, because if he's not careful... Okay, he moved back. I don't think he saw anything, but it was just lucky timing that he did move back. And here we go. This is going to be the engagement, and at least one Stalker blinked away. Trapping a couple Stalkers, but they're not taking too much damage. A couple Zealots are being taken out for Yakarue. Oh, and those Stalkers are in a world of hurt. They cannot get out of there. And the Immortals, the key to this entire fight for Call Me, are not able to do anything. This Sentry still has a lot of energy at this point, but he's the only Sentry on that side. Yakarue with a very strong proxy placement. And those Immortals, they need to be focusing, if they can, on those Stalkers. Yeah, they take out Zealots, but not any faster than those Stalkers do. Proxy is taken out and a free probe to boot. So in the end, Yakarue was forced to pull back, but he was able to get in. Oh, and I didn't realize he did the drop play in the meantime. That's going to force so many problems, because that's why Yakarue might have had to rush back. He picks up those Zealots, no damage done to it, and now he's got to be so paranoid about this. He's going to have to sit a couple Stalkers, couple Sentries at the back of the base because of this. I don't think I would have liked the idea, he just, bad luck probably that this was here. I would have liked him to go straight for the mineral line. Did he actually go and get some of the mineral line? I could have totally missed that. No, I don't think he did, but they're not... He does not have many units at all, though. Only 22, 23... See, this kind of drop that I was talking about. If he can get in there, do a little bit of damage, that harassment keeps you locked in there. One thing about both these teams, they have so few probes, it's almost scary. I mean, most people should have 35... 40 probes at this point. And all we see in production is a double expand on Call Me's part, but again, just so few probes, and I think that Yakarue just realized he didn't have too many probes going on, so he is going to be getting those out. Now Yakarue, he was the one who got the forge, and he is getting the ground weapons level 1, which will give him a major advantage, because Callme is just now getting his first forge going, so his upgrades are going to be a little bit behind. And just checking out the Zelnaga tower, see what's coming on. Oh, and if he just waited a couple seconds more, you would have seen the main force of this base over here, or the main force of this army coming over here, but they are pulling back. I wonder if we're going to start seeing a very macro-oriented game, but wow, just no probe production. I mean, he's getting the probes going now, but, I mean, you want to get those probes going throughout the game if you can, because essentially a probe can mine 40 minerals per minute, I believe, and so they just, within a minute and a half, they pay for themselves. They're so worth it, and the more you have, obviously the more money you have coming in, and you're always going to beat them down. And look at this, Callme's still harassing with that War Prism. As soon as he sees the Zealots coming in, warping in, he just bounces out. And this is, again, tying the army into this base, forcing him to waste 150 minerals on a photon cannon in the back of his base. Templar Archives is coming down. This is something that could, in theory, be sniped if you drop, you know... he'd have to knock out 3 of these pylons, so I don't think he's going to be able to do that.